Chishiya? Yes! Again? No, no, he did it.
前半から数字を選ぶと考えててね、90から100あたりは極端で気持ちが悪い。だからこれも避けようか。誰もが思いつく数字。だからこれも避けよう。60とか70とか、キリのいい数字のとこよ。
I thought of it for that, you know, the ones between 51, 89, but not that much, you know.
映画のタイトル。グランドロゴ。そうやって残るのは、62、74のどちらか。あとは、まあ、運だよね。
Mm. Because he wants to prove that his boss was wrong.
君ならどの100万人を救う？あんたは命の価値を測りたいんじゃなくて、命の価値を決めたくないってことか。救いに値する命。
No one should do that.
そうじゃない命。その差は何なのか。親やお金のない子供に配るね。結局すべては金で動く。金さえあれば、貧しい子供の命だって簡単に奪える。
Can we see your background, Chishiya? So I'm gonna stop to suspect you and maybe I'm gonna understand you more.
この世に平等も公平もないってこと。ないから。そのために戦うんじゃないのか。
I asked for it! I'm having it! You were a doctor? You wanted to save lives?
移植の順番を変えることになった。順番を？ああ。
Someone paid to be well placed?
院長の知り合いのお孫さんで。じゃあ、隼人君は後回しで寄付金を高く。それでこの大学病院も成り立ってる。物事には優先順位ってものがあるんだよ。あの患者の両親には君から説明してみて。
It's not about saving lives, it's about saving the good ones.
まあ、もし先週移植ができてても、亡くなってたかもだよ。
You don't know it, so shut the fuck up.
俺を恨むなよ。人を救うために。
Tell yourself that beautiful lie.
必要なんだよ。別に何とも思っちゃいませんよ。仕事なんで。
How many times did it happen?
じゃあ、頼むよ。はい。面白いね。
We all think like we would have quit if we would have been him. It wouldn't have changed anything. And he saved other lives, you know, still during all of these times.
正気か。先に100を選んだでしょ。私が0を選ぶとか生き延びる道はない。この命に価値があるのかないのか、ぜひとも決めてくれ。
You know that thing about him, about Chishiya, the fact that he's always watching the games, you know, he's not involving himself into stuff. It's what made me suspect him, and the fact that we didn't see his background. Now we saw his background, and his background explains a little more his attitude.
理想まで捨てたらおしまいだろ。理想？ 行きましょう。何をしてる。いいから行け。僕も前のゲームである青年に助けてもらったんです。だから今度は僕が助ける番です。後悔なんてしませんよ。これが僕の生き方なんで。生き方。
Yes!
行きましょう。
To help you. Do you still have values into your life?
勝者チシヤ様。
You sacrificed yourself?
勝者チシヤ様。
お互いあと1点。次で最後だね。そう思って君はこの同点の状況に私を誘い込むのが狙いだったのか。俺は知りたいだけなんだ。あんたが最後に押す数字をね。
I'm sorry, you know that I suspect him.
1を選べばあんたの勝ちだ。
You know, for him to say, I want to be there when you're gonna choose that, when you're gonna be confronted to that, someone who would have created that game would say something like that. You
大
know?
岡さん、君は自らの命を絶つ魔女の役を志願した。
You talked to her.
理由は何なんだ。
You talked with her about that?
理想のためです。
Ideals.
人の命が尊いって私は信じてるから。その理想があるから。私はこんなどうしようもない世界でも何とか生きてこられた。私が魔女として死ぬのはあなたたちのルールに負けたからじゃない。あなたたちの思惑通りになんていかないってこと、殺し合いなんか起きないってことを見せつけてやるためだから。
They were put there, you know, all of these players because they are bad, you know, according to society rules. And I think that you, the generals, the face cards, you chose to be there to play.
命の価値はその意義もわからない。決められる日は来ないだろう。私が決めるべきことは。
Like Chishiya, you know, with his job, your job was the same. And you're gonna die like her for your
命の
ideals.
価値を自分では決めないことに決めたんだね。理想のためにね。
勝者チシヤ様。
I'm sorry, I can cry for that.
経験が10に達した参加者がおられます。その参加者がゲー
I'm
ムオー
glad
バ
you
ー
found that peace before dying.
ようやく自分の生き方を決められたのかもな。君のおかげだ。
Ah, you know that I suspect Chishiya, so for this guy to say that now?
ある。乗り気じゃない。
You're not the headmaster, I don't think so.
ゲームは公平でありたいと思ってる。
They all chose their games.
なんかする日ね、勝ち逃げされたみたいでさ。あんたが羨ましいよ。
You were the same.
ここまで来れたのが奇跡みたいなもんか。
でもここまで来れたんだから何があっても最後まで戦おう。
ああ。
You're still alive? That was a long episode. Oh, I don't have a lot of battery anymore, so maybe it's gonna be cut at some point. I'm sorry for that in advance. I was gonna say that was a long episode, longer than the last one, and in fact I didn't feel the time pass. Like I talked about it during the review of the last episode. I think that the construction of some episodes of this season 2, like the middle episodes of this season 2, the construction was not great because we were beginning a game at the end of an episode, to end with a cliffhanger, to finish the game in fact really quickly at the beginning of the next episode, to have time for the characters, to after that begin another game, and each time it was the same construction, like at the end of an episode, the beginning of a game, we would lose a lot, to have a cliffhanger, to finally win during the beginning of the next episode. Like that construction, it's not working for a show like that, because in a show like that, you don't want to play with cliffhangers and all, and you don't want to have the rhythm of the episode being like that. You want to have really the pressure, the tension of the game to stay with the characters during the games, and that's why the first game with the King of Clubs worked really well on me, and that game with Chishiya worked really well on me, because we really stayed with the characters. And yes, I think that it's working a lot better to have that construction for the episodes and for the games than what they did before. Because right there, you know, this episode, at the beginning of it, we ended the previous game, the chess game, really easily in a way. I mean, easily by convincing all of these people to tell them that the importance it's not to survive but to have a life, so they don't want to be with the queen, so they have to follow them. Like in fact, once they convinced 3 of them, that's it, they already won the game. Something that all of these face characters, the queens, the kings and all of that, they have in common is the fact that they are really arrogant, they are there to prove something, and they created also, I think, all of their games. Like we have the confirmation of it for the King of Clubs and right there for this one, and maybe it's also the same for the King of Spades. Like each one of them chose their games, chose the rules of their games. It means that you are players like our guys, but you are different players. Again, is it because you are former players? I don't think so. I think that it's because you chose to be there. Their arrogance, you know, for me is a clue, in fact. Like, you know, they are so proud of themselves, they think that they are better than other people, or they wanted to prove something or to prove themselves. Again, if I'm right about that, these people, that kind of people, would want to participate to a game like that, because the other players, they are supposed to be losers, you know, like they all did something bad, or they all didn't really take advantages of their lives, you know, they are right there. They said it during that game, you know, with Chishiya, something around that, around the value of life and all. So yes, for now I'm gonna go on that direction for this generals, that's how I'm naming them, the face person. I don't know how to name them really. The fact that you talked with these girls, you know, at the beach with Mira, you know what I think about Mira? I don't think that she is the headmaster. I think that she's like you, she chose to be there and she's like you, but she's not the headmaster. I'm glad that that guy at the end, he found peace and he found a proof, you know, for his ideals. Like we saw that he believed into that before, and that by working like that with this boss, with this job, you know, the system around this job, maybe he lost his values at some point, and it's by spending time with people into the game, with these losers, that in fact he learned that his values were correct, and that game was in fact another way to prove it to himself, and that's why at the end it's okay to sacrifice himself for that. So that's great. That's also important, the fact that he chose to be there before. I don't know who said it. I think that it was Chishiya who talked about it like, oh, you're the king of diamonds, so you chose to be there before, you know, to spy on us at the beach, meaning that the other ones, all of the other generals, all of the other face card characters, they were not there before they intervened into the game, they appeared into the game, the big game, only for that stage of the game, and not him. And that's the difference, you know, also, like, he was arrogant like them, but because he spent time with the players, he learned from them and he changed his mind. When the other ones, they were arrogant no matter what, and they were involved into that game, you know, by themselves. At least that's what I think. And she's still searching for the truth. She found that dead deer. I think that there was something, you know, with his eyes, but I'm not so sure of it. I would search that for the editing, you know. She's coming back, I think, to the city to tell to everyone what she found. That's great. Quina, she wants to see if she could find, you know, her mother. For sure, she wouldn't, and that was, you know, a reminder of the reasons why she needs to come back, why she needs to come back to the real world, you know, to her life. That's great. I'm glad that Usagi, she had that reveal during the previous game. I was gonna say it's a chess game, but for me, in fact, Chishiya's game was really more a chess game, you know, because it was an intellectual one, and because it was also to try to understand the strategy of your opponent and stuff like that. No matter what, I'm glad that Usagi, she understood that during the previous game. She said all of that, and in front of Alisu. For sure, I'm glad that these two, they had this moment, you know, by taking a bath together. That was a little biblical, you know, that moment, taking a bath like that in front of these elephants and all, you know. It was a little weird, a little too much, but at the same time it was sweet and also, okay, I'm buying it. Things can be too much and still I'm gonna buy it. Because really, if you write that scene, it's these two surviving into that game who chose to take a bath into a stadium which exploded, which was destroyed, into you know, these places with hot water, but because of what? Yeah. And suddenly elephants appeared and they chose to kiss in front of these elephants. Like, really? Saying it like that, writing it like that, give me that, it's weird, you know? But why not? Why not? Why not? I'm okay. I'm okay to buy it. As long as it's sweet like it was between these two, I'm okay with it. Aguni, that girl gave up on Aguni, like let him behind. He's hurt, so I can understand it, but I thought that they would make a good team for a long time. We have the other guy who is coming, but he's sick as hell, so he's gonna be a pain in the ass. Like, I don't think that we can count on him or something like that. And you know, the kid, I hope that we're gonna see him again. Like, if at some point a lot of them are surviving to these games and all, I want to see the kid coming back. If I don't see the kid, I'm gonna have to suppose that he died at some point during one of these games. The fact is that, you know, at the beginning of this season, I was like, it's gonna take us so many times, in fact, to have all of the cards, to fight for all of these face cards. But because of the fact that we saw that some people won against the face cards on their own, in fact, maybe at the end of this season, we're gonna have all of the face cards and we're gonna go to the next stage again. I want to see that. I want to discover that for sure. I think that these two final episodes of this season 2 are gonna work together, which is a little bad because for sure I can't watch them together, I mean today on the same day and all. It's like that, you know, like I have to deal with the lights. I don't have a studio, I don't have big lights and stuff to help me to film whenever I want. It's like that. That's gonna be for tomorrow, the episode 8, and for now, the episode 7. That's gonna be cool. All of our guys, they need to be reunited, you know, Quina, Chishiya, Usagi and Alisu, like that's it. We had them together at the beginning of the season and they split during the season and since a long time now, so they need to be back together, to have Anne also together so she can give you information. And you know, about that world, that game, all of that, in fact, all of the informations that we learned so far during this season 2, it's what Anne, she discovered about the nature which is growing so fast, about the fact that the borders, they are changing with nature, but also they are not the same than into your real world. So it's not your real world, it's not a reality based on your world, you know, stuff like that. Like really, I learned way more with her than with the face cards and stuff like that. Maybe a little right there with the King of Diamonds, because he was there before to spy on them, he learned from that, he created also his game. So because of that, I'm beginning to see not a routine, but something a little repetitive with these face card characters. They are arrogant, they appeared for their games that they created, they made the rules, they think that the other ones are losers. Not this one, because again, it learned from them, but still. Okay, I think that I'm gonna end this review right now because really my battery is like that since 10 minutes, so at some point it's gonna be over. So I'm gonna tell you goodbye right now and maybe I'm gonna continue a little this review, I would see that. Okay, so it's all for you for this video and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye! Do I really have something else to say? I don't think so. Sorry. I think that I talked about all of the characters and all of what happened during this episode. Okay, so that was it.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Crazy.